In 1998, the PlayStation 1 was home to the iconic purple dragon named Spyro. Though small in size, Spyro's personality left a big mark on gamers, spawning a trilogy of games by developer Insomniac, as well as many other sequels and spin-offs by other developers. Although I think it's probably fair enough to assume younger gamers today will recognise the feisty Firestarter more from the Skylanders series.
But not for long, because Toys for Bob, the developer of Skylanders, has created a remastered version of Spyro's original trilogy dubbed Spyro Reignited Trilogy.
Flame on! Spyro Reignited Trilogy brings a new modern look and feel to Spyro's first 3 games: Spyro the Dragon, Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, and Spyro Year of the Dragon. Gone are those harsh polygon edges, now replaced with smoother, more visually pleasing character models and textures. Not only that, but the animations have been given an update.
Simple?
Injecting a sense of personality and individuality into every friend and foe you come across.
But golf will be more than a match for you.
Bring it on, shorty.
Every character looks like they were plucked right out of a cartoon. I particularly liked the dragons that you rescue from their crystal prisons in the first game. They feel very unique, each with their own styles and mannerisms, as they provide you with helpful tips and tricks.
Watch the dragonfly, Spyro. His color indicates his power.
As there are so many to be rescued, it's nice to have a bit of variety to break up the repetitive collectathon.
Yeah, add hoarding to Spyro's list of favourite things to do. Right up there with scorching small creatures and headbutting things. All 3 games' core progression relies on collecting enough of something, whether it's gems, dragons, talismans, or eggs. It's not the most creative of storytelling devices, but I found the environments you visit were just so gorgeous that I didn't mind the scramble. There's also just something really satisfying about smashing up the decor.
The worlds are very beautiful, full of colour and life, and worthy of a few slow camera pans to let it all sink in. The level design is kept very similar to the originals, but with a fresh coat of paint, so old hats at the series won't have too much trouble settling back into familiar territory, while newcomers of the game get to gawk at the beauty this world has to offer and discover the hidden treasure within. For a while, that gamer instinct to explore and collect was enough to keep me interested. But after a while, I felt like I was just going through the motions without any drive to progress.
I found myself in the same place, particularly in the first game, before the addition of extra objectives and optional challenges that the second and third games introduced. And I'll admit at times I wondered how 6-year-old Jem managed to get through this repetitive slog. But then I'd start to glide or charge, and that nostalgic magic would come right back to me. Spyro moves a lot more smoothly than his previous incarnation, but with the same feeling of excited energy.
Maybe it's because I didn't play the original, but I found his movements to be a bit erratic and hard to control, which took a lot of the fun out of it for me. I think this is mostly down to the way the camera lags as you move, particularly when charging. This meant sharp corners or narrow turns were a nightmare to wrangle first go, because I'd have to stop and readjust the camera or risk flying blind. I have said before that platformers aren't my strong suit, but add wonky controls to that, and let's just say that the Dragon Realm's sheep population may never recover.
I definitely ran into a few problems there too, but my biggest issue control-wise cropped up during the flying sections. Gliding short distances was a breeze, no pun intended, but the prolonged flying sections and mini-games felt really clunky, and I was constantly going into the control menu to try and find a scheme that I was comfortable with. Though it was through doing this that I discovered the option to flip to the classic controls, for those who want an authentic feeling Spyro experience.
You can do this with the music as well. You can change up the music to composer Stuart Copeland's classic score, or his updated one at any point, which offers up a nice retro feel, while still taking advantage of the modern updates. And as a musician myself, it was a treat to hear how they fleshed out the original tracks while still honouring its iconic identity.
At its core, I think that's what I love the most about the Reignited trilogy. It stays true to what made Spyro such a timeless series. It takes what made it so popular, its characters, its sense of adventure, the joy of collecting treasure, and improves on it, brightening, tightening, and breathing life into an old series to deliver it to a new generation of gamers. So I'm giving Spyro Reignited Trilogy 4 out of 5 rubber chickens.
A big downside to staying true to an old formula is that you take on the problems that it already had. When the original trilogy was released, it was new and different. But 20 years on, and the gaming scene has seen all kinds of improvements and advancements, each challenging new titles to live up to the ones that have come before. In this day and age, issues like wonky controls and lagging cameras stand out a lot more, and unfortunately, the updated visuals weren't enough to distract me from those problems. I'm giving it 2.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Last one there's a Nork!